Welcome to Cat Chat, brought to you by Vangos, alongside Brice Burge. I'm Pete Francis. Brice, the Cats traveled to Wayne State this weekend and unfortunately suffered a pretty tough loss.
Yeah, it was a tough 26-18 loss. The Wildcats only scored 3 points in the second half, and they had the opportunities for more as they went for 4th and 1, pretty deep inside Wayne State territory. Turnovers really killed the Wildcats when Carter Kopak threw 4 interceptions for the day, had a -3 turnover ratio, and the Warriors were able to get 14 points off of those turnovers. Also saw a lot of hard hits. These Wayne State guys were really avenging their big loss up here last year, and everybody's feeling it. Carter was feeling it, and John Privatelli is another one. They're still feeling it this morning.
Yeah, Brice, despite some struggles this week, though, the defense again showed up to play.
Yeah, the big part there was stopping Rennell there. He's part of that best 1-2 combo of running backs inside the GLIAC, and Rennell is the #1 guy for all-purpose yards in the conference. Not even Tech, when Wayne State lost up in Houghton, was able to hold them to that amount of yards. Eddie Knobloch, he had that big 70-yard touchdown interception at the end of the second half to really set up some momentum and give the Wildcats a 15-10 lead. But there was one issue with the defense. Wayne State went 4 for 4 in the red zone with 2 field goals and 2 touchdowns. And, you know, that's not as bad of a situation as it could be, but it was the first time this year that the opponents have been able to score 100% in the red zone, and that's always been a real positive stats of the defense so far.
Yeah, even though the Cats did lose Brice, they still control their own destiny within the conference.
Yeah, you know, this is a good Wildcat team, and good teams find a way to win. Unfortunately, they're not a great team yet, because great teams don't find themselves falling down so early in the first quarter or having to rely on opponents' penalties so much as to keep them in it until they can make it to the fourth quarter. The Wildcats, everywhere from the coaches down to the ball boys, need to ask themselves what is keeping this team from being great, because they've got a great core of players in all aspects of the game, but something's not clicking. You know, one of those questions I might ask is the bend don't break philosophy on the defense really what they need? Earlier in the season when we played Finlay, you heard the offense talking about how great it was to get the 3 and out so that way they could establish a rhythm. But now in the last 2 games against Ashland and Wayne State, they're able to get long, prolonged drives, and that's going to throw off the rhythm for the offense. And you know, with the defense doing so well and Kopak and the offensive line being under the gun lately, maybe that's a suggestion. But really, whatever this team does, if they seriously ask themselves, what's the next step for us? How do we improve all aspects of the game, not just the offense, defense, special teams, but how they all interact with each other? This is the way that the Wildcats are going to stay in that #2 spot right behind Grand Valley and Michigan Tech, who are currently undefeated in conference play.
Well, Brice, the most important game of the season is coming up now as the team travels to Allendale. Can this team go to Grand Valley and win? It's
possible. It's very possible. You're going to need some career days from a lot of these Wildcats. Grand Valley, this is easily the worst team I've seen in 5 years from Allendale. Their defensive line is very suspect. A lot of the game so far has been arena style, where whoever comes up with 3 stops ends up winning the games. Hillsdale should have beat them. They had some problems in Indianapolis and West Texas, and you know, those are really good teams, and they've had a couple of cupcake games with Finlay and Tiff in the last 2 weeks. But there's some big things that the Wildcats have, and those are the wide receivers and linebackers. 2 positions that we thought might be the weak spots on the team have really stepped it up, and that's going to keep them honest. But another thing that just came up this week, Privatelli and Philippe Smith had the most carries that they've had in a game as a Wildcat against Wayne State. And that's going to throw another monkey wrench in that defense. And maybe pair it up with Kopak's ability to throw the ball and run the ball, and the offensive line that's looking for retribution right now, they might be able to make something happen. And a couple interesting stats. Last team to beat Grand Valley in Allendale was Northwood at Grand Valley's homecoming in 2007. Well, guess what? It's their homecoming.
Let's hope the Cats can get some of that success. All right, we're going to take a quick break, and when we come back, Sean Kelly and Nick Mankoci will join me to preview the NMU hockey season. Stay with us.
Attention Wildcat fans! Vango's, the longest-running pizza parlor in Marquette, is a proud supporter of Cat Chat. Located on 3rd Street, Vango's is your neighborhood bar and restaurant with takeout and delivery. Open 7 days a week, Vango's specializes in only the freshest ingredients. From the dough to the pizza sauce made from scratch, Vango's uses the freshest vegetables for all pizzas, soups, salads, and specials, and has the best homemade food in town. Vango's, come taste the difference.
I just saved $44 on 3 of my family's medications with the MKS Prescription Saving Card.
Stop into your nearby Snyder Drug and start saving with the MKS Prescription Savings Plan.
Welcome back. Joining me now are Sean Kelly and Nick Mankoci. And guys, it's good to be back.
Good to be here.
Same here.
All right, another year of NMU hockey on the way with some key losses from last year's NCAA squad. How do you see the team finishing this year?
Well, after their run to the NCAA tournament last year, I have this team finishing in 5th place behind Michigan, Miami, Michigan State, and Alaska. I think there are some big question marks on offense with the loss of Mark Olver, and also on defense with the loss of TJ Miller and Eric Gustafson. However, I think the Cats will pull through at the end of the year on their late season run like we've been so used to lately, and they will finish 5th and get a first-round bye in the CCHA playoffs.
I'm going to have to go with what you said, Sean. Defensively, they did lose Miller. They did lose Eric Gustafson. However, Fulmer, a sophomore now, is going to step in and take Gustafson's spot. He's assistant captain. He's wonderful defensively. He has a great shot. Offensively, we have Floric, we have Chernichin. Chewy last year, he provided wonderful offense for the team. We have a guy called Eric Higsby that is going to come in. He scored 80 points last year with Topeka Roadrunners. I mean, I really see this team finishing 4th.
Yeah, guys, last year Brian Stewart was voted the team's MVP. With his departure, who do you think will be the MVP this year?
I'm going to go with another goaltender for MVP this season in Reed Ellingson. Now, I know Coach Walt Kyle said that Ellingson and newcomer Carew will split time, but I think Ellingson's going to prove that he's worth the starting time and pull through it and lead the late season run, which I had said previously, which will lead him to 5th.
Yeah, Pete, MVP-wise, I'm going to have to say Andrew Chernichin. Last year, he provided, once again, a wonderful upside. He did a lot of the dirty work, getting in front of the net, shoving in the garbage goals. I see him doing the same. He has real good hands, knows how to shoot the puck, and knows where he has to be on the ice at all times. So, Andrew Chernichin, MVP.
Okay, guys, how about an offensive player of the year?
My offensive player of the year this year would go to Justin Floric. He had 12 goals last year and ended up with 30-plus points. I think he'll build on that in his junior year, and the alternate captain from Marquette will lead the way offensively.
Again, offensively, I have to agree with you with this one. Floric, I mean, watching him this past weekend against Nipissing, he scores a hat trick, gets 1 assist, 4 points. He knows where he has to be on the ice. I know I say that many times, but there's few players on this team that know what they have to do and know their role. Justin Floric is one of those players.
Okay, what about defensive player of the year now?
I'm going to have to say Kyle Fulmer. He's stepping into the role of Eric Gustafson once again. He has a hard shot, and it's very heavy. It can find its way through defenders. Don't ask me how. It happens. Fulmer for defensive MVP.
I also have Fulmer as my defensive MVP this year. He is going to step up for Gustafson. I don't think quite he can fill the skates of Gustafson this season, but he is going to be a great defensive defenseman that's going to give you scoring opportunities as well. So, and he's also been voted alternate captain for the team this year as a sophomore, which I think speaks volume of his leadership in the locker room, off the ice as well.
All right, guys, who do you see having a breakout season this year?
I'm going to go out on a limb here, guys, and say Jared Carew, the incoming freshman goaltender from the Lincoln Stars. Now, if you look at his stats from last year, he wasn't too good, but he was also placed on a not-so-good team. He has a lot of potential upside. He has great lateral movement. He has a really nice glove hand and sound positioning. So I wouldn't be surprised to see Carew take over the starting duties for Ellenson.
Well, I have Tyler Grahn, as he is a junior this season. He's stepped up tremendously in the second half of the last 2 seasons. I think this year he's primed to put together a full season, and I don't think 15 goals or more is out of his league this season.
Okay, guys, lastly, how about the newcomer of the year?
My newcomer of the year is going to be Higsby. You saw against the exhibition game against Nipissing University, he had a hat trick and an assist. He had some beautiful goals, some great moves, and some sound passing. I think he's going to be a great addition to the team this season, and the sky's the limit for the freshman.
Again, Sean, I have to agree with you. Eric Higsby, wonderful hands, wonderful shot. Yeah.
Should be a fun season. It gets started this Friday at the Barry Event Center versus Michigan Tech. Well, we're going to take a quick break, and when we come back, Brice will rejoin me to recap the women's volleyball action. Stay with us.
Attention Wildcat fans! Vango's, the longest running pizza parlor in Marquette, is a proud supporter of Cat Chat. Located on 3rd Street, Vango's is your neighborhood bar and restaurant with takeout and delivery. Open 7 days a week, Vango's specializes in only the freshest ingredients. From the dough to the pizza sauce made from scratch, Vango's uses the freshest vegetables for all pizzas, soups, salads, and specials, and has the best homemade food in town. Vango's, come taste the difference.
Welcome back. Rejoining me is Brice Burge. Brice, the NMU volleyball team hosted Michigan Tech on Friday. How'd it go?
It was a great 3-1 victory. Had a little bit of a slow start, but the Wildcats were able to refocus and keep their undefeated streak going. I got a chance to catch up with Dominic Yoder, the head coach, and a couple of the volleyball players, so here it goes.
Well, I think Michigan Tech's a good team. They're real scrappy. They're very competitive. They did exactly to us tonight what they did out at their place. They came out in set 1. They were pretty aggressive with us. We made some unforced errors that we couldn't really catch up in set 1. But 2, 3, and 4, I think our serving was real aggressive, and we allowed us to be able to get back in the system.
Well, it was really exciting to have so many fans here playing our big rival, Michigan Tech. They came in and played really hard, but we were able to pull it out in 4, so it was really exciting.
All right, first game had a lot of issues, a lot of unforced errors. What's going to happen to improve that? How did you improve it in game?
Yeah, the unforced errors were a big thing. We need to come out a lot stronger in the future and just control what we can control on our side of the net.
It's a good feeling. It's a good feeling. They're always a pretty big rival. It's from the UP, and they bring their game, definitely. Today they were playing really scrappy and definitely challenged us a little bit. So.
All right. What was it like having all the fans?
Amazing. Our fans are amazing. The crowd was awesome, definitely bringing energy to us at some points and definitely helping in our win.
Brice, nice to see the Cats are keeping the undefeated season going.
Yeah, and they're not the only ones. I want to give a quick shout out to the soccer team. They made a really tough road trip, ended up winning down in Lake Erie and tying the Ashland Eagles earlier today on Sunday with a 1-1 tie. They remain unbeaten too, as they've gone to 7-0-4. And they were also ranked for the first time in program history, and they should be moving up.
Yeah, great. Let's hope they keep it rolling. All right, that's going to wrap up this week's edition of the show. For Brice Burge and the entire Cat Chat crew, I'm Pete Francis. Until next time, go Cats.